Hello and welcome to another quick review, and in this one I'm going to be taking a first look at the Firemaple Orange Gas Lantern. I've just been wondering if maybe I'd prefer a sort of softer, more natural light than my usual LED style bulb that can make it feel a bit like a science lab. So I'm going to get this unboxed and we'll have a look at what it's like when it's lit. So before I get started, just for full disclosure, Firemaple sent this to me free of charge to try out. They also sent me a little gas canister cover. It looks very well made, feels quite rugged, so it just goes over your canister while you're using the lantern. For myself, I am a fairly lightweight wild camper, so I wouldn't necessarily want to take something that's just a sort of cosmetic finishing touch. But for those of you who like the van life, maybe you like the sort of family camping scene, maybe you like something like this just because it makes a canister maybe seem a bit less unsightly and sort of metallic. So for this test, I won't really be showing you much about the canister, but you can add this to your purchase if you want to buy one of these gas lanterns. So let's get it out of the box. It has a claimed weight of 128 grams. It's a nice, neat piece of packaging. And the idea with this lantern is that you can screw it onto a standard gas canister, which you would otherwise be running your stove off. And then you can just have an actual flame to look at and to enjoy, rather than, as I say, using the typical sort of LED bulb that you tend to get in lanterns for camping. Some people, of course, will just want to use their head torch, so you take your head torch off, hang it on the inside of your tent, and that is your light for the night. Personally, on my wild camps, I've been using Flextail products for a couple of years now, so this is the latest Flextail Tiny Pump 2X, and if I turn it on, it's got 3 brightness levels, and you can also buy a little silicone lampshade that presses on, and then you can hang that from the top of your tent. So you can see with the lampshade on, it is a muted colour. Without it, it's a little bit harsh on the eyes. Of course, there are 3 levels, but I tend to find I like it quite bright in the tent, just while I'm sort of cooking, eating, maybe seeing if I need to get my clothes changed or anything. So I'm thinking that I might prefer the more natural light that comes from a flame. So the Firemaple Orange Gas Lantern comes in its own plastic carry case that's nice and durable, which is a good idea because this is a fairly delicate piece of kit, I suppose. It's got a glass tube, which is what protects you from the flame once it's lit. If I just take it out of its bubble wrap here. So there's the glass tube. It's got a metal base and you can choose different colours when you come to place your order. And if I rotate this glass tube, you might be able to see that just over here a little slot is opening. So as I continue to turn that, I've got a gap there, which is where I can get my lighter or a match in the side to get the flame lit. In the bottom is where you've got the threads to screw onto your canister, so I'll do that now. And of course, the good thing about a lantern like this is that you're already going to have that canister with you to do all your cooking or whatnot, so it's not as though you have to carry additional bulk or mass just to be able to use this lantern. Okay, so let's get it lit. Turn the gas on, get my lighter, there we go. So straight away you can see that's quite a big flame. But you've got your control on the side here, so you can turn it all the way back until you get that flame nice and safe down below the top of the glass. And then really it's up to you. It looks like you've got quite a lot of control, so that's fully open now. And I'll wind it back and you can go really, really small on that. And of course I'll just rotate the glass again because hiding that slot there will prevent any wind getting in and blowing the flame too much. So that's about as low as you could go. I'll see if I can go any lower. Okay, you've actually got really fine control over that. So I've got a little 1 centimetre flame there right at the bottom. I'll show you a little bit more closely. So if you really just wanted a very gentle glow in the corner of your vestibule maybe, or in your, maybe you've got a nice big porch area on a bigger tent, you can have that really low. Or if you want a bit more light, possibly even some heat from it, then you can turn it up quite a lot. You can see I've got full control over this. It gets quite sooty when it's wide open there. There's all kinds of soot up here. But if I bring it right down there, I'm just going to see how close I can hold my hand as well. This is one thing I wouldn't say concerned about. It's something I want to be mindful of when I've got this within my tent in the vestibule to give me a bit of light and maybe some warmth. then I don't want to have any issues with heat directly overhead, because my tents are predominantly silicone nylon and I wouldn't want to melt them. So I'm actually holding my hand here about 3 inches above the top of the tube, and this is bearable at the moment, starting to warm up a bit. Obviously if I turn that up, I'm going to get considerably more heat. That's actually not as bad as I thought it might be. So straight away I'm actually less concerned about the safety of my tent. Of course you have to be careful with a naked flame anywhere near your tent. I mean, you're going to be able to knock this about a bit, and it's not as though you've got a liquid petroleum stove and you're going to spill fuel and then the flame will run away with the fuel. But I think that's actually quite a calming sort of light to have in the tent. Of course, it's going to be important that you make sure your tent is well ventilated if you're using this. There is actually a warning on the product saying that this shouldn't be used indoors or within a tent. I guess the idea really is that you're meant to use it outside, maybe for sitting with family, having a bit of a meal outside before you go into your tent or something like that. But I think there are going to be wild campers out there who would like a more natural light like this. I see some people using little tea lights in their tents. Some people use little fake electric sort of flame effect candles, which I suppose is a good idea because it does give a sort of warm glow within the tent. It's quite relaxing as well. It's quite easy just to get lost staring at it. But yeah, I quite like the look of this. These are coming out at £22 on the Firemaple website. If you click on the link in the description and use my discount code OUTDOORS10, that £22 includes the 10% discount you'll get with my discount code. That's plus shipping, of course. So for £22, I mean, yeah, I quite like the look of this, and I will take it on a camp with me, so keep an eye out on my other videos, and I will head out in my tent and I'll give this a go on a natural wild camp in the middle of nowhere, and I'll see how it looks, see how I feel about having a not naked flame because it is kind of contained within the glass, but having a flame within my tent, and I'll see how I feel about that. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, maybe you've used one of these already, maybe you have a different solution for having a flame inside your tent that you feel safe with, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.